Imagine you could see the future, not with a crystal ball, but with math. What if an algorithm knew you were about to get sick before you felt a single symptom? What if it knew a criminal was about to strike, or that the stock market was about to crash, or even who was going to win the next election, hours before the votes were counted? In 2025, that's not science fiction. That's Tuesday. We now live in a world where machines are better at predicting the future than most humans have ever been. And today I'm going to show you exactly how they do it, where they're already changing your life, and the dark side nobody wants to talk about. Stick around, this one gets wild. Let's dive in. Humans have been obsessed with predicting the future forever. Ancient Babylonians read sheep livers. Greeks asked the Oracle of Delphi. Medieval scholars studied the stars. Guess what? They were doing the same thing we do today, looking for patterns in data and trying to guess what comes next. The only difference is we swapped sheep guts for supercomputers. Fast forward to 2025. The AI market is exploding past $240 billion this year alone, and 75% of big companies are already using predictive AI every single day. Weather, stocks, disease, crime, elections, there's almost nothing these algorithmic oracles can't forecast. But with great power comes great, you know the rest. So let's look at 4 places where these oracles are already running the show. Every time you tap your card, an AI decides in milliseconds whether that purchase is really you or a criminal in another country. Visa and MasterCard now stop fraud so well they've cut false declines by over 30% and saved billions. How? The old way was dumb rules. Flag anything over $5,000. Today's models watch you, your normal coffee shop on Tuesdays, your Netflix binges on Friday nights, and scream bloody murder the second something looks off. They even use graph neural networks to spot entire crime rings that rule-based systems completely miss. But here's the uncomfortable part. These models learned from decades of human policing and spending data. If certain neighborhoods or demographics were watched more in the past, the AI can accidentally keep that bias alive. More on that later. The future of AI is not just about prediction, but about action. These algorithmic oracles are becoming more agentic, meaning they can autonomously complete tasks. This shift from mere forecasting to independent execution marks a significant leap in AI's integration into our daily lives. As AI continues to evolve, understanding its capabilities and limitations becomes paramount for everyone. In medicine, AI is starting to predict disease before doctors can. Google's Deep Variant can scan your genome and spot dangerous mutations better than the old tools. AlphaMasense can look at every possible single-letter DNA change in a human genome and tell you within seconds which ones cause disease. IBM Watson once promised to read a cancer patient's genome and suggest treatment in 10 minutes instead of 160 hours of human work. The good news? Early detection saves lives. The bad news? When Watson rolled out in real hospitals, it gave dangerous recommendations because its reasoning was a black box. We're getting better, but we're not there yet. And oh yeah, your DNA is the most personal data you have. Once it's in the system, it's there forever. Remember 2016 when the polls got everything wrong? Now there's a company called Decision Desk HQ that predicted every single major race in the 2022 midterms correctly, often before the TV networks called them. Their trick? They don't trust polls. They watch actual votes come in precinct by precinct, run 10,000 simulations every few minutes, and update the forecast live. In 2024, they beat the Associated Press in 7 big races. But politics is messy because humans change their minds when they hear predictions. If a forecast says candidate X is doomed, some voters stay home, and the forecast becomes a self-fulfilling prophecy. Social systems fight back against being predicted. Nature doesn't do that. Singapore predicts traffic jams and changes lights before you even slow down. Barcelona knows which trash bins will overflow tomorrow. New York once used predictive policing to send cops to hot spots, and crime dropped, until people realized the hot spots were just the neighborhoods cops already watched more. Same data, bias problem again. So these systems work until they don't. And when they're wrong, they can be wrong for entire communities at once. Okay, enough examples. How do these algorithmic oracles actually work under the hood? At the heart of almost every modern predictor is a neural network, basically digital brain cells stacked in layers. You feed it millions of examples. Here are 10 million credit card transactions, some real, some fraud. The network tweaks billions of tiny knobs until it can guess correctly almost every time. Then you give it a brand new transaction it's never seen, and boom, it predicts fraud or legit in a blink. The magic happens because deeper layers learn insanely complex patterns humans could never write rules for. But there's a catch. The network only knows what it's seen. Garbage in, garbage out. If your training data is biased, outdated, or missing entire groups of people, your oracle will be biased too. We've seen it in facial recognition, medical AI, even Amazon's old recruiting tool that downgraded women because it trained on 10 years of mostly male resumes. Let's be real, these aren't just technical glitches. Bias at scale can discriminate against millions instantly. Compass, the algorithm many US courts used for sentencing, was twice as likely to wrongly label black defendants high risk. Privacy is basically gone. Predictive systems need your location, health records, purchases, even your mood from social media. Once that data exists, governments and companies can keep it forever. COVID tracking apps showed how fast temporary emergency surveillance becomes permanent. McKinsey says 30% of the hours we work today could be automated by 2030. Truck drivers, paralegals, radiologists, accountants, nobody's safe. The wealth goes to the people who own the robots, not the people replaced by them. The good news? People are fighting back. The EU just passed the world's first comprehensive AI law, banning the worst stuff and forcing transparency on high-risk systems. Companies are building responsible AI teams, biased dashboards, and human-in-the-loop checks. But regulation is playing catch-up, and the tech is moving lightning fast. We've built the most powerful oracle humanity has ever had. It can save lives, stop crime, fight climate change, and make us richer. But it can also amplify every old injustice and create terrifying new ones. The future isn't written by the algorithms. It's written by the choices we make about how we build, train, and govern them. So here's my question to you. When an algorithm predicts your future, who do you want holding the keyboard? Drop your thoughts in the comments. I read every single one. If this video made you think, smash that like button and subscribe. We're covering the AI revolution every week, and you don't want to miss what's coming next. Thanks for watching, stay curious, and I'll see you in the next one.